Hey there folks, Pastor Michael Carpenter here. Now as most of you know, my family is expecting any day now the birth of 2 new babies. And so when those babies come, I will be gone from the pulpit for 4 Sundays while we bring those babies home and adjust to our newly expanded family. So here in this video, I wanted to explain what is going to be happening in the pulpit on those 4 Sundays. I am beyond excited for the opportunity that you have ahead of you. Because over the course of those 4 Sundays, from August the 13th to September 3rd, we have lined up 4 incredible guest preachers to come to worship. Now these are 4 different preachers with 4 different messages, but they all have one thing in common. These are all young adults who are either beginning or considering careers in ministry. So these 4 preachers will be with you in worship to bring a word from God, and they will bless you with that, with their passion and their perspective. But then also, you will bless them with affirmation as they begin this journey in their lives. Now, our church has a proud history of calling people from our pews into careers in ministry. In living memory, there are 2 retired and 2 active pastors who once sat in our pews and are now in ministry. And so now, over the 4 Sundays that I will be gone from the pulpit, you have the opportunity to do the same thing for 4 new future pastors. To show you just what kind of impact you are going to have over the course of those 4 Sundays, let me tell you a quick story. Because I remember a time not all that long ago when I was in the shoes of these young adults. Back in college at Oklahoma State, I did pulpit supply a little bit. And I remember one Sunday in particular, July the 14th, 2013, I went and preached at First UMC in Bristow, Oklahoma, a town just a little bit smaller than Wahoo. Like me any day now, their pastor was out on parental leave, and so the district superintendent lined me up to preach one of the Sundays they were gone. But I was in college and it was still one of my very first sermons, and so my nerves got the better of me, and my speech impediment took complete control of the sermon. Now I fumbled and I stuttered every single word of that sermon. It was all that I could do not to sit down halfway through it in defeat and failure. But I powered through and I somehow made it to the end of the service. So then I was shaking hands with the congregation in the receiving line after worship, and the whole church family at Bristow was very politely lying to me, saying how good of a job I did. Now, we don't call it this back in Oklahoma, but y'all would call that being Nebraska nice. But then there was one man who came up to say something to me. And I couldn't understand what he said, so I asked him to repeat himself, and he did several times, but to no avail. I just couldn't understand what he was trying to say. So then finally, he took his phone out of his pocket and he typed something on it. Then he handed it to me so that I could read what he was trying to say. And I'll never forget what he wrote, because he said, "Thank you. I didn't know that people like us could do something like that." I will always remember that man and the church at First UMC Bristow for being a leg of my journey into ministry that I so very desperately needed, a source of affirmation and support that carried me forward. Now, church family, you have that opportunity now to do the same thing for these 4 young adults. Now, I can almost guarantee that their sermons will be miles better than the one I fumbled through at Bristow, but the results will be the same. You will be blessed as they preach to you, but then they will be blessed too, and affirmed and strengthened in their call because they were with you here in our church. So my challenge to you then is to pack the pews those 4 Sundays, from August the 13th to September 3rd, to be here each and every Sunday. Because I promise you, you do not want to miss a single one of these preachers, to support them, to hear from them, because who knows, one of them one day might be your pastor. So while I'm gone, know that I'll be worshiping online with you, that I cannot wait to be back with you in person, and that you have an incredible opportunity in the meantime. So may God richly bless you, and I can't wait to see how it goes.